Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2005 in the Oakland Raiders franchise mode. And in the last video I hastily left you with the cliffhanger of what would happen in the trade deadline. And spoiler alert, nothing. There was no money to do anything with. We have like $3 or $4 million of cap room, which I'm going to save strictly for injuries in case anything's to happen and we have to sign someone. So there's not really a whole lot of room to add much to this team despite the struggles that we're having this year. So as you saw, we picked up a win and also picked up a loss, which brings us to 4-3 on the year. So the good news with that is the AFC West is actually pretty bad this year, and none of the other teams in the division have a winning record. So if we're going to hover around 500 for most of the season, we could probably still squeeze something out of that. But it's not a great sign when you're coming off a 14-2 season and you're already 4-3. Hitting the halfway mark of the season with one of your biggest games on the docket today, and that is the defending Super Bowl champion Indianapolis Colts, who are entering into the Coliseum, looking to beat us once again, like they did in the postseason, just, a few months from when this game's taking place before, you know what I mean? Like 8-9 months before this game currently is taking place. So, but we did beat them in the regular season in Indy, which is like one of the biggest highlights of year number 4, was being able to beat the Colts and secure the 1 seed in the AFC. But they got the last laugh in the AFC Championship, and of course when they won the Super Bowl. So I can't really talk a whole lot to them. And honestly, dude, Peyton Manning is probably the only quarterback in the NFL who's even on a similar pace to Tim Couch. He's putting up pretty crazy numbers himself, some video game numbers. So he hasn't had a season like Tim Couch's year number 3, but last year their seasons were pretty identical. So Peyton Manning has been on a generational run alongside Tim Couch, which if you told anyone that in real life, they'd probably combust and burst into flames, and I wouldn't blame them. So, but either way, Tim Couch, a nice completion to Teo Johnson, gets us a first down here inside the Colts 30, and he's going to try and throw for it once again, just a laser towards the middle of the field here, and that pass is completed and in the end zone for a touchdown to Josh Reed, who's been a fairly nice contributor to this offense since we acquired him in free agency. That's his 4th touchdown of the season. So, again, that should probably be Brian Lynch's spot here, but I like the way the offense is working with Reed. I don't see a huge need to switch things up in the receiving core right now, so we'll roll with it. But, Lynch is only on the 1-year deal, so, got to figure out something to do with him. But Marvin Harrison is figuring out what to do with the secondaries. He gets only his 3rd touchdown of the season. So Peyton Manning enters this game already with 14 touchdowns, and just now 2 of them have only gone to Marvin Harrison. So that's touchdown 15 for Manning and touchdown number 3 for Harrison. So an interesting kind of stat to throw out there about how this Colts offense has operated so far this season, as they have also found some issues finding some consistency in conference play or just in regular season play. So, but the offense is now moving in a positive direction as Couch is able to hit Porter for another nice completion. But fast forward to a 3rd and 6 just outside the Colts 20, trying to get into the red zone here at least. And Couch manages to do that as he finds Teo Johnson for another completion along the sideline. So we haven't seen a whole lot of Teo Johnson. He hasn't really been a whole lot of help getting into the end zone, but he had a great season last year, so maybe we'll see more of that. But Couch, a lot of pressure coming off the edge here. He's going to get hit from behind as he throws, and that is going to be an interception for the Colts as they're able to pick off Tim Couch. And you see where he was trying to hit, but that pressure, I don't know, man. And I talked about it in the last video at length a little bit here, that Tim Couch really just kind of is starting to have a little bit of problems with turning the ball over. He enters this game with 8 interceptions, and that's interception number 9 to just 17 touchdowns. So still a good ratio to have, very positive, but he's starting to turn the ball over a lot more. I mentioned in the last video, it's almost like 2 touchdowns for 1 interception for every 2 touchdowns, and that's just not a pace that we can afford to have Tim Couch on right now with the struggles that we are having with winning games. So, but either way, we were finally moving the ball in the positive direction here. The interception didn't do much against us here as we were able to stop the Colts. So 1st and 10 here after another first down completion, and Couch is going to continue to throw for it. And why not? If you can do stuff like that, getting into a tight window in the end zone, and finally Jerry Porter is going to get the touchdown that Couch was trying to get him on the last drive. And that's going to be touchdown number 8 for Jerry Porter, who's been one of the top contributors at the skill positions for this offense. I mean, Justin Fargas is another one who has been, at least starting back with that last game against the Jets that we watched anyway, as he gets a nice little run on the edge here, picks up another first down for the Raiders, gets us inside the 25, and Couch going to go through the air once again here, picks up a nice block from Justin Fargas, gives him enough time to hit Justin Gage in the end zone for his 7th touchdown of the year. So both of our top receivers are fighting around that 6 to 7 touchdown mark, and they both now have one in this game. So, but Manning, he's going to hit his top guy once again as Marvin Harrison gets away from Woolfolk, and now it's a foot race that you know we're not going to win, as Marvin Harrison gets touchdown number 4 on the season and number 2 of this game. And that tandem right there, just if the defensive strategy was just to lock down number 88 and prevent number 18 from being able to throw to that side of the field, it might even be an effective strategy here. We haven't even seen Reggie Wayne that much, but the Colts just have that many kind of weapons. So Manning going to throw for it once again to that same side of the field, but this time it is not Marvin Harrison. It is Brandon Stokely, who's been another effective contributor for this Colts offense and was the absolute dagger in our back in the playoffs last season as he scored that overtime touchdown to send the Colts to the Super Bowl. And now it's going to send this game into a tie game. So, but we are back on offense once again, and Couch hits Gage over the middle for another completion to get us inside the Colts 35. And so now the offensive drive will push forward now, coming out of the 2-minute warning at a 2nd and 3. Got to get to at least the first down sticks, but Couch is going to get a little bit more than that as he hits all the way over to Jerry Porter for a 26-yard touchdown. That goes all the way, baby, all the way. So we're going to take another 7-point lead over the Colts here following this touchdown. And yeah, Jerry Porter, I mean, I don't know. That was a poor play from the Colts defense there. Just a bad play. He didn't really seem to have his bearings about him. So, 1st and 10 for the Colts, though. Still plenty of time in the first half for them to answer back if they choose to do so. And we know that they choose to do so. We know that they're choosing that. So, and that completion was actually to Casey Wesley, someone I wouldn't normally write down on the roster sheet, but the Colts only have 4 receivers, so I wrote them all down. And he's actually got 4 touchdowns this season. He is a first-round pick for the Colts from not the previous draft, but the year before out of Texas A&M, and he's got a few touchdowns in this season already here. So he's got to be he's another effective piece that we got to look out for on this offense here. As Marvin Harrison is going to get another touchdown. He's going to get another touchdown. Well, I'm just yapping. He's going to score again. So the Colts tie things up at 28 apiece, but we still have some time here left in the second half. And these two offenses are going to use every single second on that clock if they can manage to do so as we get a first down here. Now we're well within Janikowski's range, even if we never gain another yard. But Couch, of course, is going to try to gain a few more yards, and he's actually going to lose yards as he goes backwards and gets sacked. But there's still time here, so we're going to try and hurry up back to the line now as every receiver's got to run all the way back if they can. And it's going to be 2nd and 16, time ticking under 30 seconds now for the Raiders to do something, and Couch is able to this time complete the pass, looks like over to Porter. And that's going to get us to the first down marker. And now the chains are going to move here. It's going to be 1st and 10 inside the 25. And Couch looks to throw for it once again. And that pass is going to fall right to the knees, or rather the ankles, of Brian Lynch and the defender that was blanketing him. So now we fast forward to 3rd and 10 with just 11 seconds. So down to our last couple shots here to get into the end zone. And that's a good opportunity right there as Porter is able to get the first down a little bit more. But without much time left and only a timeout left, we're going to have to call it here and just use the last 6 seconds to get 3 points on the board from Janikowski, and we do just that. So 31-28 is the lead that we are going to hold on to now at the end of the second quarter. And this game has already proven to be another instant classic in this quickly fast-forming rivalry between these two teams. So 3rd and 18 now in the second half. It's after a couple sacks here, and now Couch finally able to get another first down. And that's a theme, man, I'm going to point out to you guys because I edited out, I think, all of them. But Tim Couch gets sacked a lot in this game, dude. He gets sacked a lot. It's another 3rd and 18 because he got sacked again. And, yeah, that just keeps being the theme here for our offense. The Colts have a defensive line that's just very disruptive. We have the best offensive line in the entire NFL, and I stand firmly on that. But they are having a hard time right now containing the Colts defensive line, and we stall out on this drive and have to rely on Janikowski's leg once again to now take a 6-point lead over the Colts, which we know is not going to hold here. That's not going to hold Indy for long with Manning and the boys in control here. So, and that pass is going to be completed. It's a short pass across the middle from Manning to, you guys are never going to believe this, Steve Hyden. Steve Hyden is now the new tight end for the Colts. Now, they lost Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark was a free agent last season, or after last season. And after the Super Bowl run, he took his talents elsewhere. I forget where he actually went. I think he might have went to San Fran or Tampa Bay or something like that. Somewhere in the NFC, I think. But he's now gone. He's not on the Colts anymore. And Steve Hyden, who didn't play last year, he sat out as a free agent. He's only 73 overall. And the Colts had to sign him out of retirement, basically, and bring him on just to have a tight end there. So they didn't really replace Dallas Clark. They just kind of, did what they had to do. So, and our defense did what they had to do, is they managed to stop the Colts offense and force Vanderjagt to try and take 3 points, which he does. So 31-34 now the score here in Oakland. And the Raiders are back on the move once again as Couch hits Jerry Porter on the sideline. Just kind of blanketed once again on that side. And Rodgers is just racking up the tackles for the Colts defense here as he just has to keep trying to contain Jerry Porter. And there's just no way to do it. There's just no way to do it. But the third quarter ends, we're hanging on to this 3-point lead, and we are driving, but it's 3rd and 14. We're going to hand this one off to Fargas to just try and, I don't know, maybe get closer, make it a more manageable field goal for Janikowski. I hate that kind of defeatist mentality of the offensive coordinator to try, or of Holmgren, our offensive coordinator, to just kind of, I don't know, take the yards, I guess, but whatever. It's a 50-yarder for Janikowski here. This isn't necessarily a guarantee, but he is pretty good from this range. The kick is up, and it is no good. So Janikowski misses it. So probably wish we were a little bit more aggressive on 3rd down. Maybe even at least try to throw for it, but I don't know, man. So the score remains 34-31, and the Colts are going to waste 0 time as Stokely has to get around the referee, which gives Philip Buchanan a chance to at least maybe catch up a little bit, but no, Stokely still has plenty of wheels to get into the end zone, and the Colts are going to score once again. So immediately we pay for missing that field goal, as the Colts were given pretty prime field position and an opportunity to take the lead, and they're going to do so. So 38-34 is your score. Still plenty of time, but it's another 3rd and 10 for the Raiders here. And Couch this time is able to hit Porter across the middle for the first down completion, and that's going to at least continue the drive for us. We're okay. And Rodgers is just starting to get mad. He's starting to crash out a little bit because he's having a hard time over there. He needs help on that side. But it's another 3rd down, man. The Colts defense is really forcing us to have to work on 3rd down. We're really not getting much of anything on 1st and 2nd, but as long as we can continue to hit Jerry Porter on that side, I think we're still somewhat effective here. But we got to get into the end zone, and we finally do, as Porter is hit once again, and that is just the only tandem that is working. Tim Couch has decided that there is no other method that's going to work in this ball game other than just hit 84 as many times as you can. And hey, man, if it keeps working, I've said it a million times. If it works, it works. So, but Tim Couch now heading to the other side, finally hitting the other top receiver we have on this team, Justin Gage, for a completion. But it's another 3rd down, and we're going to give it to Fargas again. Maybe trying to make the 3rd down manageable, but he actually picks up the 1st down. So good on Justin Fargas, who hasn't done a whole lot in this game, but at least is outdoing Edgerrin James, who we haven't talked about at all in this game, because it's really just been all passing for the Colts. And now Fargas is going to finish off what he started a second ago and finally get into the end zone for a 5-yard rushing TD, and that is going to be touchdown number 8 for Justin Fargas in this game, man, number 8. So I think I mentioned in the last video, Fargas hasn't really been doing a whole lot in the yard stat of his stat sheet, but he's been getting a ton of touchdowns. So I guess we'll keep taking that. If he's a touchdown goblin, I don't care as long as he's getting touchdowns. And there's Reggie Wayne. We're going to call him for the first time today here as he mosses Philip Buchanan, gets away from him, and that's a 51-yard passing touchdown from Peyton Manning to his other top guy. So both quarterbacks have really been loving their number 1 dude, Jerry Porter and Marvin Harrison, but Peyton Manning is showing us here that hey, man, I've got a top guy too that I can hit whenever I want to, and his name is Reggie Wayne, and he did just that. So the Colts are going to need an onside kick here because they are now down just 3 points. The kick is up, and we are actually going to get the onside kick here. Morian Norris is able to get it, man. Again, underrated free agent signing. We love Morian Norris. He's amazing. But it's another 3rd down for the Raiders. And we've converted a lot of them, but we've had 14 of them, man. The Colts have been forcing 14 3rd downs. So they haven't been good on 3rd down. Their defense hasn't, but we've been struggling on 1st and 2nd down. And again, man, just trying to maybe make it a more manageable 3rd down, trying to kill clock, obviously. It's not going to work, man. In a 3-point game with the Colts, we got to eat more time than this, guys. And we're leaving a minute on the board here, regardless of whether or not Janikowski makes or misses this field goal. And the kick is up. He missed a 50-yarder. Now from 53, he misses it again. So something is wrong here with Janikowski. He's off today. He's normally pretty good from 50 to 55, but he's been missing. He's missed both of them today, and now the Colts have an opportunity on offense here, and one play is all it's going to take is Manning is going to hit Harrison. Is it Harrison? I don't know if it is Harrison. I think that's not. That's not Harrison. It's Casey Wesley. Remember, I told you guys, Casey Wesley's been a little bit effective here for this Colts offense. Not rookie, but now the second-year pro out of A&M. He's been kind of a little bit of effective for the Colts, shockingly effective for the Colts offense. And he now takes the lead for the Colts, but now on the ensuing kickoff, again trying to squib it here to maybe eat some time off the clock, and it just goes out of bounds. So we're still very much in this game with 53 seconds. We can answer back the Colts as quickly as they just answered us back. So, but we got to get down the field here as Couch floats one out towards the sideline, and who else? Actually, it's not Porter. I think it might have been Josh Reed even. We'll get another shot. Or no, it's Brian Lynch. Brian Lynch gets a nice little catch here. He was wide open too, man. I don't know. Maybe I might put Brian Lynch in just because I want to see him play more. I just want to see him more. But it's quickly a 3rd and 10 again. We've heard this story a million times in this game. The Colts defense standing firm on 1st and 2nd. And this time they do manage to force a 4th down as Tim Couch sails this one into the dirt here. No one is home. So 4th and 10 down to our last play of the game here. We lose if we can't convert. Couch hit as he throws, but it's going to be caught for a 1st down across the middle. And we're going to live to at least see another play here. And we're going to rush up to the line of scrimmage, but just call a timeout because we have all 3 of them. We have plenty of time to really figure out what we're going to do with the last 30 seconds of this game here. So quickly it becomes 2nd and 10, and Couch fires across the middle. It's going to be intercepted, heading the other way. And Tim Couch is going to help make the tackle, but it's going to be intercepted, and we are going to lose the game. And this is what I was talking about, guys, man. This is what I'm talking about. The interceptions. I don't care if you can score 48 points, dude. If you're going to throw multiple interceptions a game that's going to lose us the game, that matters. Like, that matters. That's a big thing, dude. We can't just overlook that, you know? That's just a humongous thing, and again with the defense, we're going to see the defensive stats here, all of our guys performing, but again, 52 points, dude. You can't win that way, and just look at the numbers. We even outran them. We silenced Edgerrin James. I have to give credit where it's due. Our defense silenced Edgerrin James, who's been a 1,000-plus yard rusher for the last 3 or 4 seasons, and still we managed to lose this game. So 16 third downs, and we convert 11. That's not even all that terrible, but 71% in the red zone is bad. It's bad when the opposing offense is 100% in the red zone. That's certainly bad. So 2 interceptions to 5 touchdowns and almost 600 yards. I mean, how do you even complain about that? And he was sacked 5 times, so he was clearly facing some pressure too. Again, I can't hate Tim Couch, dude. I can't. I'm not even trying to insinuate that there is problems with Tim Couch that we have to look at. I'm not even trying to say that, guys. I'm not trying to go down that route. I'm just saying that this is now becoming a pattern that we're seeing here. The shakiness from Janikowski here. You know, obviously, Phil Buchanan was giving us some problems, and now Tim Couch's turnovers might be an issue this year. So now that takes us right into another huge division game against the Chiefs. I think the closest team to us in the division at 3-5. So we got to find another win, guys, in the division especially. So hope to see you guys against the Chiefs.